So Anushka held that for 30 seconds. So as you can see, Chaturanga is not an easy pose, and you require a lot of concentration to actually be in that pose for that long. So why patience for that? Um, Patience, because you require patience to get there. You need to prepare for this pose. And you got to do other poses, other asanas in order for you to gain the core strength and the upper body strength to actually get into the pose. If you don't have that, you're not going to lift yourself off the ground. So with Chaturanga, like I said, you have to prepare for the pose. And many of us, we don't like the preparation part of anything really. So when we're preparing for Chaturanga, you do downward dogs, you do high planks, and all the poses that actually strengthen your core and your upper body. So yesterday I had my sister and my niece do Chaturanga. So I just wanted to view other people doing Chaturanga, and they don't have the upper body strength or the core strength or a strong core to actually do Chaturanga. But both of them, they couldn't lift themselves off the ground. And I knew that was going to happen. But there's a lesson that they taught me. They taught me that patience is a virtue. And you've got to have patience to reach your goal. So these two people, yes, they did not prepare for the pose. But during the preparation part of anything, we're not patient enough. We need patience to prepare and then eventually get into Chaturanga. And then in life, we want to accomplish certain things. We want to reach maybe the goal of enlightenment. But there's a process to actually reach there. And we need patience to reach that point. Obviously, we all are not going to reach enlightenment. It's just an example but we're heading in that direction through our practice of Raj Yoga and Hatha Yoga. It's the preparation for enlightenment, or it's a preparation for you to get over the body and come to a realization that you are actually a soul being or a being of light. So Chaturanga is patience and the preparation and the patience required through the preparation of reaching your goal. So that's my take on Chaturanga.
Okay, good. I just thought, why do you think we can't all reach enlightenment? Any reason why you're putting a hold on that?
No, I'm not putting a hold on it. I'm definitely not putting a hold on it. I'm talking about globally, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's take, for an example, someone that's so caught up in the material world. And we often have our senses often kind of lead us astray. And how many of us really at this point in time are heading towards that? A lot of people are now stuck in this material world. And obviously through knowledge and through people like yourself, Sister Usha, who goes out there and teaches people these things, that's the only way we're gonna actually take everyone to that path of enlightenment. But to actually reach enlightenment by the time this life is over, I think that it's a difficult task. I don't think every person is going to reach that point without preparing to go there.
Okay, I just thought, let's do another take on it, enlightenment for everyone can be a different level. It doesn't all have to be the same. So I would say that, yes, we're not going to all be the same, but I actually feel that we will all see the light of who we are, because that is the ultimate aim of our journey. So, yes. For example, what happens is that, if I'm not kind of fully aware and I'm not totally in my highest state of being, but as I get inspired by the actions of others, then slowly what happens is that I'm also pulled inward. And so I like
Definitely.
this idea that, when we can reach, or critical mass can reach a point of awareness and realization, that actually it supports others on their journey as well. I do feel that we each going to have that satisfaction of coming back to that beginning point of ours, the way we were when we first came to play our parts in this world drama stage. And so for me, it's really that feeling that even for me to be patient, that if I may have gone a few steps ahead, to kind of know that actually the way this universe is created and this drama of life is created, that everything is significantly there for benevolence. Nothing happens without any motive of goodwill. And so it is something that, in a way, we destined all to reach our state of enlightenment. Meaning, even if that enlightenment is just getting to know myself as I'm supposed to be. And I think that's fair. I do agree with you when we see the kind of confusion and the kind of things that are happening in our world, and we think, how are people going to simmer down and to get down? But if we worry about that, it's just like thinking about us, when if I look at myself and think, at a certain point there was my mindset and it worked in a certain way, and I didn't see any other way besides that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at myself now and I think, how did I think that those were okay? And now when I think about it, I don't think it's okay. And I have a complete shift in my thinking and the way I'm even carrying out certain tasks and stuff like that. So the same person who I will say me can have such a shift in the way of thinking. And it really just reminds me of that, it's this external facade of our personality. We sometimes take so much of identity from it. We actually own it and we become it. And yet it's just a borrowed thing. Like, let's take, for example, the clothes you're wearing at the moment, currently, your wardrobe even. It's choices you've made based on many different things, and it doesn't have to be a fixed thing, but it does align who you understand yourself to be. And maybe 20 years from now, you might not think that that's what I want to be wearing, You will actually have moved with the time. And could actually think I used to wear those kind of clothes before. I mean, I'm not measuring it in any way, but it's like how we can completely rethink something and change, maybe the food we used to eat. There are some people who go on this diet where they just want to eat only proteins, and then they go on to a diet where they're only going to have no proteins, or they're going to only drink liquids, or there's all these kind of different things we go through in our lives, and at a given point we hold that as being sacred. So I like this feeling that for me also to have patience, first of all, with this very powerful conviction that whatever has to happen is going to happen in its time. So that brings me to our point today. Let's just read that. So it says, patience, I am calm, relaxed, and free from anxiety because I know that everything that happens is benevolent. With this awareness that I am true and therefore truth will guide me with my patience, I am calm, I am carefree, and I trust that all will unfold in time. And I think when I think about it, because I also did the pose a little bit this morning, but I didn't quite do it on the floor. I used a little bit of a vertical, so that I was 45 degrees just to see if I could push my body away from itself, with my hands. And I thought to myself, it is true. And I agree with you with the core muscles, but I've been definitely working on my core, even though I haven't been doing anything else too rigidly. And that has made a very big difference to many things. And so before, I think I used to complain to you that my arms are very weak and I can't really hold my body. I feel that it was not really just my arms, it was actually my core that wasn't so strong.
Mhm.
And so in getting my core more powerful, I'm giving more support to my arms, and it's actually making it easier. So it's true. I love that idea that, you know, when we work on that which we already have, which is, you know, the core that is within us, and I'm talking now on the spiritual level, then actually we can motivate ourselves to do almost anything, which is very powerful. I don't know if you want to add to that.
Yes, I do. So the key to actually reaching that path of enlightenment is knowledge. And I think most of us, like me personally, our seeking this knowledge, it's usually when you're facing these challenging situations that you really start looking. And I think only when you put in that corner do you start looking for the alternatives. And I'm speaking from my experience. It's like when you're pushed in that corner, then you start looking for that knowledge to get you to that path. But if everything's cozy, then you're really not pushing yourself. So you're not even thinking of that spiritual realm. You're not even thinking of of uh, of your higher being or your higher self. You know, because you're comfortable. So you gotta be a little bit uncomfortable. You gotta
Uncomfortable.
you gotta be uncomfortable, and only then that discomfort. Like I say, I'm speaking for myself because it's only in my discomfort that I look to see that I seek the truth.
But you know, Shalona, what I know of you little, I can't say I can't know anyone anyway. I'm still getting to know myself. But you don't, you're not a mediocre person. You know, you kind of always reach out and like, I mean, look at with your injuries as well, how you've, somebody who has injuries, the last thing they will want to do is do more yoga. And so that became a blessing in disguise that you taught yourself even more, because your recent cause was after all your injuries. So it's so powerful to be able to know that when I hold something as a good wish for myself, that I want to always improve myself, even if the current situations don't really support me, and I might find myself in a bit of a rut. But this is perhaps where, for me, meditation has been such a lovely thing, that I hold that good vision of myself. You know, the like in your instance, you held the healed version of yourself. That this is not impossible. And I was speaking to a friend of mine who's a physician. Very, very sweet, because when I fractured my wrist, I found that there were certain moves I really couldn't make, and let alone doing this and lifting my arm right over, it was impossible because this was so bad. So you can actually see the change. And she said to me, you don't worry, even after years, if you are motivated, it can help. And it was so nice to be able to see that we don't have to even take something like an injury and hold that against me. If internally I have a vision of my whole self, my healed self, if, for example, I'm experiencing myself to be very short-tempered and get angry easily, I can hold a vision of my peaceful self. If I find myself being a shy someone, I can hold a confident version of myself. And by holding that pure vision within myself, of myself, then the universe also responds to us and brings the different things in our lives to actually support us. And that's something so important, you know, that we don't realize that each thought of ours is like a good wish that I'm holding for myself. Because if I think thoughts that are useless, and I'm actually really, I'm using this word strongly, I can be a curse to my own self, because I'm creating thoughts that are not in line with my ultimate complete self. So that's the reason why I wanted us to not leave anybody out of this line of enlightenment. I truly feel that each one of us will come to that full glory of who we really are and be completely enlightened, because that's who we're meant to be. And that perfection actually lies inside of us. You know, understanding the concept of Raj Yoga is that the truth that is me never leaves me. but I have used other things to shield that truth away from myself. And when I have the courage to let go of that which is acquired, I expose that which is truth. So there's an enlightened being in each one of us. It's sitting there waiting to be exposed. We just need to have the courage to tear off the layers that is blocking that perfection, which is really so wonderful in the sense that we all can keep feeding and watering the seed of our own complete true self. Sorry, you muted, yeah?
It's like the dirty mirror, you got to clean that mirror to expose your true nature and your true being.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, definitely we can expand the potential of a body that doesn't look like it can do much. Or we can also rectify certain tendencies that we feel have been there for too long if we don't want to go. But it's important for me to create the seed of that beauty inside of me. So let us, if there's any, do you have any closing remarks, Sharona, before we go into meditation?
Now that you mentioned the clothing part, where we change our clothes as we go on in this life, and similarly with our being, we evolve. It has definitely given me something to think about. I didn't think of it like that. So for me, enlightenment was at the time this complete state of bliss, total detachment, in this a very peaceful state. So that was what I was thinking of at that time. But yes, you've definitely given me something to think about. So I know that for the rest of this day, it's going to play on my mind. So it does happen. So thank you for that. And yeah.
There's a very powerful saying that the Zen Buddhists say. They say before enlightenment, we were chopping wood and carrying water. And after enlightenment, we're still chopping wood and carrying water. So, that's the power of it, isn't it? That how we're living our lives is what actually counts. And okay, so I invite you to sit back and relax as we go into our meditation. And I take this opportunity to bring myself into the moment of stillness. I become aware of myself sitting in this body, in the center of my forehead. And as I take a look at myself, not from the eye of old beliefs, of learned behavior, of prejudice and limited perception, but I look at myself through the eyes of truth, the divine, who is the ocean of peace, the ocean of love. And by looking at myself through the lens of truth, I see myself as I truly am. I bring myself to that essence, knowing that everything that I have experienced, I have learned, have acquired, encountered, has been part of an unlimited experience, which is part of my life and part of this drama in which I am an actor. But all of those were mere parts, giving me an idea, and an opportunity to see what it is and how that inner core values were expressed. But that was the part. And now I bring myself back to that essence of pure consciousness. I am the pure diamond, the living light, sparkling, radiant being of pure consciousness. And within I, the being, they are the pure seeds of peace and love, happiness and joy, wisdom and power. And each quality is completely, uniquely embedded in I, the soul, giving me my own unique personality. The purity of myself is independent from everything outside. Even the expression through the body can distort my pure, authentic self. So, for a moment, I choose to consider myself free from the body, like a glowing star hanging in the sky, completely free, and my radiance of peace and love, happiness and joy surrounding me. I am a radiant being, and all around me is peace, love, happiness, joy, wisdom, power. For a few moments, let me stay in this powerful field of the highest vibrations. And as I rest in this pure state, I am in great comfort. And I allow these rays to spread far and wide. It is in this highest vibration that I can connect with each individual without knowing their name or form. I connect with the truth of each being. This connection is an eternal one. It is this connection that makes me belong to the whole world. It allows me to feel and experience closeness and oneness. This is that feeling of pure love. And the power of this love can transform any limited perceptions, limited identities, and bring about renewal, refreshment, and an opportunity to restart. So I create within my awareness this powerful feeling and attitude of holding that highest attitude for each individual without any expectations, without any exceptions. I hold that pure vision of each one, knowing that at the right time, the seed of peace, love, and happiness will sprout. And this change of each individual soul will create a collective transformation to renew our earth and everything of creation and restore it to that state of peace and love, happiness and joy, wisdom and power. Om Shanti.